Kate stood frozen as the tall purple alien queen glared down at her from the crystal throne. The throne room sparkled with strange lights that danced across the walls, making Kate feel dizzy. She had never meant to end up here, on a planet so far from Earth that she could barely remember the journey. The alien queen Vraxia pointed a long finger at Kate. Her voice boomed through the large hall. This human entered our sacred forest without permission. Our laws are clear. Death is the punishment. Kate wanted to explain that her ship had crashed. She had only been looking for help when the royal guards found her wandering near the crystal trees. But fear kept her silent. The aliens around her stood much taller than any human, with skin in shades of purple and blue that seemed to shimmer in the light. Just as the guards moved toward Kate, a small figure darted across the room. The little alien child wrapped himself around Kate's leg and looked up at the queen with large, tearful yellow eyes. "Don't hurt her, mother," the small prince cried. His voice was high and musical. "She helped me when I was lost yesterday. She found me and gave me water. She showed me how to get back to the city." Kate remembered the small alien child she had found crying near a stream. She had no idea he was royalty. She had simply seen a scared child and wanted to help. Queen Vraxia's face showed surprise. She looked from her son to Kate and back again. "Is this true, Prince Zorn? This human helped you?" The little prince nodded, his grip on Kate's leg tightening. "She was kind to me, mother. She told me stories about her home planet while we walked. She didn't know who I was, but she helped me anyway." The queen stood from her throne, her tall figure casting a shadow over Kate. The room fell silent. Even the strange insects that floated through the air seemed to pause. Kate held her breath, waiting. "Take her to the guest chambers," the queen finally said to her guards. "We shall decide her fate tomorrow. My son's words will be considered." Kate felt relief wash over her as the guards led her away. They took her down long hallways with walls that seemed to be made of some sort of living crystal. The palace itself felt alive, humming with energy that Kate could almost see. The guest chamber was small but comfortable, with a bed that molded itself to her body when she sat on it. A window showed the 3 moons of this strange world, hanging low in a purple sky. Later that night, the door to her room opened. Kate sat up quickly, heart racing. But it was a human woman who entered, not an alien guard. She looked to be about 30, with short brown hair and friendly eyes. "I'm Lily," the woman said, sitting at the edge of Kate's bed. "I've been living here for 5 years as the royal translator. Queen Vraxia asked me to check on you." Kate was shocked to see another human. "There are more of us here." "I thought I was alone," Lily smiled. "There's a small human settlement on the other side of the crystal forest. Some of us crashed here like you probably did. Others came on purpose to study this world. The Vraxians allow us to stay as long as we follow their laws." "Will they really kill me?" Kate asked, her voice small. "I've rarely seen Queen Vraxia show mercy," Lily said honestly. "But her son seems fond of you. That might save your life." Kate told Lily about finding Prince Zorn near the stream. "He was just a child who was lost. I didn't know he was a prince." "That's probably why he likes you," Lily explained. "Most people treat him differently because he's royalty. You just treated him like a child who needed help." In the morning, a guard brought Kate strange blue fruit for breakfast. The fruit tasted sweet, like a mix between strawberries and honey. As she ate, Prince Zorn slipped into her room, his movements quick and silent. "I talked to Mother all night about you," he said, his yellow eyes wide and serious. "I told her humans are not bad, just different." Kate smiled at the small alien child. He had 6 fingers on each hand and skin that shifted between shades of blue depending on his mood. Right now, he was a bright, happy blue. "Thank you for trying to help me," Kate said. "You saved me. Now I save you," Zorn said simply. When Kate was summoned back to the throne room, she walked with her head high. Queen Vraxia sat on her crystal throne, her face unreadable. Prince Zorn stood beside her, bouncing slightly with nervous energy. "Human," the queen addressed Kate. "My son has spoken highly of your kindness. He believes you meant no harm in entering our sacred forest." Kate bowed her head respectfully. "I meant no disrespect, Your Majesty. My ship crashed and I was looking for help." The queen studied Kate for a long moment. "My son has asked that you become his teacher. He wishes to learn about Earth and humans. This would spare your life and give you purpose here." Kate looked at Prince Zorn, who was watching her hopefully. Becoming a teacher to an alien prince had never been in her plans. But then again, neither had crashing on an alien planet. "I would be honored," Kate said. Queen Vraxia nodded once. "It is decided." You will live in the palace and teach my son about your world. In return, you will learn our ways. Perhaps this will help build understanding between our peoples." Prince Zorn rushed to Kate, his small hand finding hers. "I will show you the crystal gardens and the moon pools and the flying lizards in the royal menagerie." Kate smiled down at him, feeling a strange new hope. She had come to this planet by accident, but maybe there was a reason she was here after all. Lily found Kate later, walking with Prince Zorn in the palace gardens. "You've done the impossible," Lily said with wonder in her voice. "No one has ever changed the Queen's mind once she's called for execution." Kate watched as Zorn chased after floating insects that glowed like tiny stars. "I just helped a child who needed it. I had no idea it would save my life." "Sometimes the smallest actions have the biggest consequences," Lily said wisely, "especially when dealing with alien royalty." That night, Kate looked out at the 3 moons from her new permanent quarters in the palace. Tomorrow she would begin teaching Prince Zorn about Earth, and in return, she would learn about this strange new world that was now her home. For the first time since crashing on this planet, Kate felt like things might be okay. She had found an unexpected ally in the little prince and perhaps even a new purpose. The stars outside her window were unfamiliar, but somehow they were beginning to feel a little bit like home. Kate began her days in the alien palace with a new routine. Each morning she would wake to the light of 3 suns rising over the crystal mountains. A servant would bring her breakfast of strange blue fruits and a warm drink that tasted like cinnamon. Then Prince Zorn would arrive, eager to start his lessons about Earth. The little prince was a quick learner. He absorbed everything Kate told him about her home planet with wide yellow eyes and endless questions. They sat together in a room with walls that changed color based on the mood of those inside. When Zorn was excited, which was often, the walls turned a bright orange. "Tell me about the oceans again," Zorn asked one morning. He sat cross-legged on the floor, his tail curled around him. Kate smiled and pulled up images on the small device Lily had given her. It contained thousands of pictures from Earth. "Our oceans are blue, not purple like yours. And our fish don't float above the water like yours do." Zorn studied the images with fascination. "And humans swim in these waters? Even though you can't breathe underwater like we can." "Yes, we swim for fun. Some humans even dive deep with special equipment to explore the ocean floor." The prince shook his head in wonder. "Humans are brave. Or maybe a little foolish," Kate laughed. "Maybe both." As the days passed, Kate learned about Vraxian culture too. She discovered that the Crystal Palace was actually a living organism, growing slowly over centuries. The light that danced across the walls was its way of communicating with the royal family. Only those with royal blood could understand its messages. Lily helped Kate navigate the complex social rules of the palace. "Never turn your back on the queen," she warned. "Always bow when a royal guard enters the room. And never ever touch the sacred crystals in the throne room." Kate took these warnings seriously. She was careful to follow every rule. Queen Vraxia still watched her with suspicious eyes, and Kate knew her position was far from secure. One morning, Kate waited for Prince Zorn, but he didn't arrive at their usual meeting place. She waited an hour before growing worried. Palace servants passed by without meeting her eyes. Finally, Lily found her. "The prince is sick," she explained, her face tight with worry. "It happens sometimes. Their bodies go through phases where the inner light dims. It's normal for them, but it's serious." Kate felt a twist of concern for the little prince who had saved her life. "Can I see him?" Lily hesitated. Only family is allowed during healing time. It's their tradition. But that afternoon, a royal guard came to Kate's room. "The prince asks for you," he said stiffly. "The queen has allowed it, against tradition." The guard led Kate to a part of the palace she had never seen before. Here, the walls pulsed with a soft green light that seemed soothing. Prince Zorn lay on a bed made of the same living crystal as the palace. His normally bright blue skin had dulled to a pale gray. Queen Vraxia stood beside his bed, her tall figure rigid with concern. She looked up when Kate entered but didn't send her away. "Teacher," Zorn said weakly, reaching out a small hand. "I asked Mother to let you visit." Kate moved closer, careful to show proper respect to the Queen. "I missed our lessons today, Your Highness." The prince smiled faintly. "Will you tell me an Earth story? The one about the girl who lived in the forest with small men?" Kate sat beside his bed and told him the story of Snow White. She changed some details to make it less scary, emphasizing the friendship between Snow White and the dwarfs. As she spoke, she noticed the prince's skin slowly regaining some of its blue color. Queen Vraxia watched silently. When Kate finished the story, the queen spoke. His light grows stronger. Your words seem to help him. Kate bowed her head. I'm glad, Your Majesty. You will return tomorrow, the queen said. It wasn't a request. For the next 3 days, Kate spent her mornings with the sick prince. She told him stories from Earth and showed him pictures of animals, cities, and landscapes. Each day his color improved a little more. On the 4th day, Kate arrived to find Prince Zorn sitting up in bed, his skin almost back to its normal vibrant blue. Queen Vraxia was not present. I feel much better today, the prince announced proudly. I'm very glad, Kate said, sitting beside him. Your mother must be relieved, Zorn nodded. She has gone to the sacred crystal caves to give thanks for my recovery. He lowered his voice to a whisper. She is also giving thanks for you. Kate blinked in surprise. For me? The healer said your stories helped my inner light grow strong again. Mother says she was wrong about humans, at least about you. Kate felt a warm glow of pride. Maybe she was making a difference here after all. That evening, Queen Vraxia summoned Kate to the throne room. Kate entered nervously, but the queen's expression seemed less severe than usual. My son has recovered, the queen stated. The healer says your presence aided his healing. This is unexpected, Kate bowed. I'm happy I could help, Your Majesty. The queen studied her with those piercing eyes. I have decided you will have greater freedom in the palace. You may also visit the human settlement once each moon cycle if you wish. My son values you, so you will be valued here. It was the closest thing to approval Kate had received from the queen. She bowed deeply. Thank you, Your Majesty. With her new freedom, Kate explored more of the palace. She discovered gardens where plants moved and sang in soft voices. She found libraries with books made of thin crystal sheets that showed moving images when touched. The more she learned about this world, the more fascinating it became. Lily took her to visit the human settlement during her first allowed outing. About 50 humans lived in simple homes near a lake with water that glowed at night. Many were scientists studying the unique ecosystem of the planet. Others were like Kate, survivors of crashes who had made a new life here. The queen rarely allows humans to work in the palace, Mary. One of the settlement leaders told Kate. You must have made quite an impression. It was the prince who saved me, Kate explained. I just got lucky, Mary shook her head. Luck might have put you in the prince's path, but your kindness is what saved you. Remember that. When Kate returned to the palace, she found Prince Zorn waiting eagerly for her. Did you see the human houses? Do they look like Earth houses? Kate spent the evening telling him about the settlement and promising to take pictures next time she visited. As she talked, she realized that she was no longer just teaching the prince about Earth. She was building a bridge between two worlds. That night, Kate stood at her window looking at the 3 moons. She thought about how close she had come to death when she first arrived. How a simple act of kindness toward a lost child had changed everything. Now she was not just surviving on this alien world. She was finding a place within it. In her wildest dreams, Kate had never imagined becoming the teacher to an alien prince or finding value in a crystal palace on a distant planet. Yet here she was, making a difference in ways she never could have predicted. Life, she was learning, could take the strangest and most wonderful turns. Months passed and Kate settled into her life at the Crystal Palace. The seasons changed on the alien world, bringing a time when the air filled with glowing spores that drifted like snow. Prince Zorn explained this was the luminous season, a time of celebration for the Vraxians. We have a grand festival, he told Kate excitedly as they walked through the palace gardens. Everyone wears special clothes that catch the spores. By the end of the night, we all glow like stars. Kate smiled at his enthusiasm. The little prince had grown taller in the months she had known him. His English had improved too, though she had also learned much of the musical Vraxian language. Will I be allowed to attend the festival? Kate asked. Despite her improved status, there were still many royal events she was not permitted to join. Zorn nodded eagerly. Mother said you can come this year. I asked her specially. He lowered his voice. She likes you much better now. Kate wasn't sure about that, but Queen Vraxia had certainly become less hostile. Sometimes the queen even asked Kate questions about Earth customs during their brief interactions. Lily helped Kate prepare for the festival. bringing her a special gown made of a fabric that seemed to shift between colors like oil on water. "This will attract the spores," Lily explained, helping Kate into the dress. "They're harmless, by the way. They just stick to certain materials and glow for about a day before fading." "It's beautiful," Kate said, turning to see how the fabric moved. "But I'm nervous about attending a royal event." Lily squeezed her hand. "You'll be fine. Just follow my lead." The festival was held in the grand crystal courtyard of the palace. Hundreds of Vraxians gathered, all wearing shimmering clothes similar to Kate's gown. The air was thick with the floating spores, which looked like tiny fireflies drifting lazily through the night. Kate stayed close to Lily, watching in wonder as musicians played instruments that seemed to be alive, curling around their players' arms as they produced hauntingly beautiful sounds. Queen Varaxia arrived wearing an elaborate headdress that caught spores by the thousands, creating a glowing halo around her regal face. Prince Zorn bounced at her side, his excitement visible in his bright blue skin tone. When the prince spotted Kate, he rushed over. "You came! Do you like it? Have you caught many spores yet?" Kate laughed as he grabbed her hand and pulled her into the center of the courtyard. "It's amazing," she told him honestly. The night progressed with dancing, feasting on strange but delicious foods, and listening to Vraxian stories told by elders whose skin had faded to a pale lavender with age. Kate felt a growing sense of belonging as she participated in the alien celebrations. Near midnight, Prince Zorn pulled Kate aside. "Mother wants to speak with you," he said, suddenly serious. "Don't worry. It's a good thing." The queen waited in a quiet corner of the courtyard away from the main festivities. Kate approached and bowed deeply as protocol demanded. "Rise, human teacher," Queen Vraxia said, her voice less stern than usual. "My son speaks highly of your lessons." "Thank you, your majesty. Prince Zorn is an excellent student." The queen's lips curved in what might have been a smile. "The luminous festival celebrates new beginnings and the passing of knowledge between generations. It seems fitting to tell you that the High Council has approved my request to make your position permanent." Kate blinked in surprise. "Permanent? You will continue as my son's teacher, but also serve as a liaison between our people and the human settlement. There is much our worlds could learn from each other." Kate felt a surge of emotion. What had begun as a desperate fight for survival had somehow turned into a meaningful position, a purpose. "I'm honored, your majesty." The queen nodded once. "It was my son's idea. He believes you can help build understanding between Vraxians and humans." She paused. "I find myself agreeing with him." As Kate rejoined the festival, now covered in glowing spores that made her shine like the Vraxians around her, she spotted Lily in the crowd. "The queen just offered me a permanent position," Kate said, still shocked. "As a liaison between our peoples." Lily's eyes widened. "Kate, that's incredible. No human has ever held an official position in the royal court before." "I know. It doesn't seem real." "It's because of how you are with Prince Zorn," Lily said thoughtfully. "The Vraxians value their children above all else. By caring for the prince, you've shown them the best of humanity." The next day, news of Kate's appointment spread through both the palace and the human settlement. Most humans were excited about having someone represent their interests to the royal family. A few seemed jealous or suspicious, but Mary, the settlement leader, quickly silenced them. "This is the opportunity we've been waiting for," Mary told Kate when she visited the settlement. "A chance to create real understanding between our peoples." With her new role, Kate divided her time between teaching Prince Zorn, meeting with the Human Settlement Council, and attending royal court sessions where matters concerning humans were discussed. It was challenging work, requiring her to navigate the complex customs of both worlds. One evening, exhausted from a long day of meetings, Kate found Prince Zorn waiting in her quarters. He had brought her a gift, a small crystal that pulsed with gentle light. "It's a memory stone," he explained. "We give them to people who are important to us. If you hold it and think of me, I'll know." Kate carefully took the delicate crystal. "It's beautiful." "Thank you." The prince looked at her with his large yellow eyes. "Are you happy here, Teacher Kate?" The question caught her by surprise. "I am," she realized as she said it. "I miss Earth sometimes, but I've found a place here that feels right." Zorn nodded, satisfied. "Good. Mother says you are changing how Vraxians see humans. Before, many thought humans were dangerous or foolish. Now they see you and think differently." Kate felt the weight of responsibility in his words. She was no longer just one human trying to survive. She was representing her entire species to an alien civilization. As her first official act as liaison, Kate proposed a cultural exchange program where young Vraxians and humans could learn from each other. Queen Vraxia approved the plan with only minor modifications, a sign of growing trust. The first exchange day brought 5 human children from the settlement to the palace gardens, where they met with Vraxian children, including Prince Zorn. Kate watched nervously as the children studied each other with initial wariness. Then one human girl offered a flower to a small Vraxian child. The Vraxian responded by showing how his skin could change colors when he was happy. Soon all the children were laughing together, finding ways to communicate despite their differences. Queen Vraxia observed from a distance. When the day ended, she approached Kate. Children adapt more easily than adults, she noted. Perhaps there is wisdom in starting with them, Kate nodded. On Earth we have a saying, children are the future. By helping them understand each other now, we create a better future for both our peoples. For the first time, Kate saw respect in the Queen's eyes. Not just tolerance or acceptance, but genuine respect. It felt like a victory greater than any she could have imagined when she first crashed on this alien world. That night, Kate held the memory stone Prince Zorn had given her. It warmed in her palm, glowing brighter as she thought of the little alien prince who had saved her life and changed her future. Somewhere in the palace, she knew, Zorn would feel the connection and know she was thinking of him. Earth was still her first home, a place she sometimes missed with an aching heart. But this crystal world with its 3 moons and glowing spores had become her second home. And maybe, just maybe, she was exactly where she needed to be. 3 years passed since Kate first arrived on the alien world of Vraxia. The human settlement had grown into a thriving community of over 200 people. Regular transport ships now made the journey from Earth, bringing supplies, news, and occasionally new settlers curious about life among the crystal forests. Kate had grown too, not just in her understanding of Vraxian culture but in her status among both peoples. Her title had officially changed from liaison to ambassador, the first human to hold such a position in Vraxian history. She divided her time between the palace, where she still taught Prince Zorn, and the new embassy building constructed at the edge of the capital city. On this particular morning, Kate stood before a mirror in her palace quarters, adjusting the formal Vraxian robe she wore over her human clothes. The garment shimmered with living crystal threads that changed color based on her mood, currently a blend of blue excitement and purple nervousness. "You look very official," Lily said, entering the room. After years as the royal translator, Lily now worked alongside Kate at the embassy. "Ready for the big ceremony?" Kate took a deep breath. "As ready as I'll ever be." Today was Prince Zorn's coming-of-age ceremony. At 15 Vraxian years, roughly 18 Earth years, he would officially be recognized as an adult and named heir to the throne. Kate had helped him prepare for months, teaching him Earth diplomatic protocols to complement his Vraxian royal training. "He's asked for you specifically during the private ceremony before the public event," Lily reminded her. "That's practically unheard of. Usually only royal family members attend that part." Kate nodded. The honor wasn't lost on her. "He said he has something important to tell me." They made their way through the palace corridors, which seemed more alive than usual. The crystal walls pulsed with bright colors, reflecting the significance of the day. Royal guards stood at attention, their ceremonial armor catching the light. In a small chamber off the main throne room, Queen Vraxia waited with Prince Zorn. The young prince had grown tall, now standing at nearly 7 feet, the same height as his mother. His features had matured into those of a young Vraxian man, regal and composed, though his eyes still held the same curiosity Kate had seen in the lost child by the stream years ago. "Ambassador Kate," the Queen greeted her formally. "My son insisted on your presence for this private moment." Kate bowed deeply. "The honor is mine, Your Majesty." Prince Zorn stepped forward, his skin a bright, happy blue. "Teacher Kate," he said, using the old title he still favored in private. "Today I become an adult in the eyes of our people. But I would not be the person I am without your guidance." Kate felt a swell of pride. The frightened little alien who had clung to her leg was now a confident, thoughtful young leader. "You give me too much credit, Your Highness. Your growth comes from your own character and determination." The prince shook his head. "Not true. You taught me to see beyond our world, to understand that different doesn't mean less. These lessons will shape how I rule someday." He glanced at his mother, who nodded permission for him to continue. "Which is why I have made a decision about my future." Kate waited, curious about what important announcement would come before the public ceremony. "When I take the throne," Prince Zorn said formally, "I will create a new position, human advisor to the crown. And I wish for you to be the first to hold this title. Not just during my reign, but beginning today, as I start my journey as heir." Kate blinked in surprise. "Your Highness, the position would make you a permanent member of the Royal Inner Council," Queen Vraxia explained. "No human has ever held such a status. But my son believes, and I have come to agree, that as our worlds grow closer, we need your perspective at the highest levels of government." Kate felt overwhelmed. When she had crashed on this planet years ago, fighting for her life before the Queen, she could never have imagined this moment. "I would be honored," she said finally, bowing deeply. "I will serve both peoples to the best of my ability." Prince Zorn's face broke into a wide smile. "Good. It is decided." He reached into a small crystal box and removed a delicate circlet woven of living crystal. "This is the symbol of your new office. All who see it will know you speak with the authority of the royal family." As he placed the circlet on her head, Kate felt the crystal warm and adjust to her, tiny tendrils connecting gently with her skin. The sensation was strange but not unpleasant. "It recognizes you," the Queen said with a note of surprise. "The royal crystals don't bond with just anyone. They must sense something special in your spirit." The public ceremony that followed was spectacular. Thousands of Vraxians gathered in the great plaza before the palace, their skin creating a sea of blue and purple hues. The human settlement attended in full, standing proudly as their ambassador was presented alongside Prince Zorn as his chosen advisor. Mary, now the official governor of the human settlement, squeezed Kate's hand during the reception afterward. "When you first crashed here, we all thought you were the unluckiest human in the galaxy. Now look at you," Kate laughed. "Sometimes the worst luck turns out to be the best." That evening, as celebrations continued throughout the capital, Kate escaped to a quiet balcony for a moment alone. The 3 moons hung low in the sky, casting their combined light over the crystal forests that glittered like fields of diamonds. "May I join you?" Prince Zorn asked, stepping through the doorway. Without waiting for an answer, he moved to stand beside her at the railing. "Too many people," he explained. "Even for a prince," Kate smiled. Despite his new official status, he was still the same person she had come to care for deeply. "It was a beautiful ceremony." Zorn nodded, his eyes on the distant forest. "There's something I did not tell you earlier when Mother was present." "Oh?" Kate turned to face him. "The position I created, human advisor to the crown, there was another reason for it." He hesitated, then continued. "The royal seers have had visions. They believe a time of challenge is coming when both our peoples will face a common threat." Kate frowned. "What kind of threat?" "They cannot see clearly, but they believe that the bond between human and Vraxian will be tested." His yellow eyes fixed on hers. "That is why I need you by my side. Not just for your wisdom about Earth ways, but because you have proven that different worlds can stand together, even in difficult times." Kate felt the weight of his words. "You can count on me, Zorn. Whatever comes, we'll face it together." The prince's serious expression melted into a smile. "I know." He touched the circlet on her head gently. "The crystal has bonded with you more strongly than anyone expected. Mother says it means you have a Vraxian soul." Kate remembered Zorn saying something similar years ago. Or maybe it just means that souls aren't defined by which planet we're born on. They stood in comfortable silence, watching the moons track across the alien sky. Kate thought about the strange path her life had taken. From a frightened human facing execution, to a trusted advisor to the future king. From an outsider to a bridge between worlds. "What are you thinking about?" Zorn asked after a while. Kate smiled. "About how sometimes the universe has better plans for us than we have for ourselves." In the city below, lights twinkled as humans and Vraxians celebrated together. Music drifted up from the plaza, a blend of Earth melodies and Vraxian harmonies that somehow worked beautifully together. Much like the two peoples themselves. The next morning, Kate woke early. She had meetings scheduled with Earth diplomats, followed by a session with the Vraxian Royal Council to discuss expanding the cultural exchange programs. Her new position meant more responsibilities, more challenges, but also more opportunities to strengthen the bond between her two homes. As she prepared for the day, Kate caught sight of her reflection. The crystal circlet gleamed softly against her hair. She touched it gently, still amazed by how her life had transformed. A soft chime announced a message, Prince Zorn requesting her presence at his first official court session as heir. Kate smiled and sent back a confirmation. Whatever the future held, whatever challenges the seers had foreseen, she would be ready. She stepped out onto her balcony for a moment, looking up at the alien sky that no longer seemed foreign. Somewhere beyond those strange stars was Earth, the planet of her birth. But here, among the crystal forests and 3 moons of Vraxia, Kate had found something precious, a second home, a purpose, and a bridge between worlds that no one had thought possible. The crystal circlet warmed against her skin as if agreeing with her thoughts. Kate took a deep breath of the sweet Vraxian air and smiled. Her journey had only just begun. A full cycle of seasons passed on the alien world, marking a year since Kate first arrived. The human settlement had grown, with new arrivals coming on small trading ships that occasionally visited the planet. Each newcomer looked at Kate with awe when they learned of her position in the royal palace. "You're something of a legend among humans in this sector now," Lily told Kate as they walked through the settlement one day. "The human who won over the Vraxian queen and became an ambassador," Kate laughed. "I'm hardly an ambassador. And I didn't win over the queen, Prince Zorn did that for me. Still, what you've accomplished is remarkable. Relations between humans and Vraxians have never been better." It was true. The cultural exchange programs had expanded. Humans now worked in the crystal mines alongside Vraxians, sharing earth mining techniques that were less disruptive to the living crystals. In return, Vraxians taught humans about their advanced medicine, which had already saved several lives in the settlement. Prince Zorn had continued to grow, both physically and in his understanding of human ways. He was no longer the small child who had clung to Kate's leg that first day in the throne room. Now he stood nearly to her shoulder, his childish roundness giving way to the beginning of adult features. "Mother says I will begin formal royal training soon," he told Kate during one of their lessons. His voice had deepened slightly, though it still carried the musical quality of all Vraxian speech. "I will have less time for our lessons." Kate felt a twinge of sadness. She had grown deeply attached to the young prince. "That's an important step for you. You'll make an excellent ruler someday." Zorn tilted his head, studying her with those intelligent yellow eyes. "I will still need my human teacher. There is much more I want to learn about Earth." One morning, Kate was summoned urgently to the throne room. She hurried through the crystal corridors, worried about what could prompt such a call. Queen Vraxia rarely requested her presence without scheduling it days in advance. When she arrived, Kate found not just the queen but a full gathering of the royal court. Alien faces turned to watch her enter, some curious, others unreadable. "Human liaison," Queen Vraxia addressed her formally. "A ship has arrived from Earth. They say they have come specifically for our world." Kate felt a jolt of surprise. Earth ships rarely ventured this far into space and never directly to the Vraxian planet. "What do they want, Your Majesty?" The Queen's expression was grave. "They claim to be scientists and diplomats seeking to establish formal relations, but our sensors detect weapons on their vessel. They have requested to speak with the human settlement leader and with you." The throne room filled with murmurs. Kate realized the Queen was watching her reaction carefully, perhaps looking for signs that Kate had known about this arrival. "I had no knowledge of this ship, Your Majesty," Kate said firmly. "The settlement receives occasional news from Earth, but nothing about an official mission." The Queen seemed to accept this. "The ship remains in orbit. I must decide whether to allow them to land. What do you advise, human liaison?" Kate felt the weight of responsibility settle on her shoulders. Her answer could affect not just her own standing, but the future of human Vraxian relations. "If I may suggest, Your Majesty, allow a small delegation to land, just 2 or 3 representatives. They can meet with you under guard, with myself and Mary from the settlement present. This shows both caution and willingness to talk." The Queen considered this. "A reasonable suggestion. It shall be as you say." 2 days later, Kate stood beside Mary in the formal reception hall as 3 humans from the Earthship were escorted in by royal guards. The visitors wore the uniform of the Earth Diplomatic Corps, but Kate noticed the subtle bulges that suggested hidden weapons. The Queen, seated on a portable throne, clearly noticed too. "Welcome to Vraxia," the Queen said through Lily, who served as official translator. "State your purpose here." The leader of the Earth group, a woman named Beth, stepped forward. "We bring greetings from Earth. Our mission is to establish formal diplomatic relations with your world and to ensure the welfare of Earth citizens living here." The meeting proceeded with careful formality. Beth explained that Earth had only recently learned of the human settlement on Vraxia through messages sent by returning traders. The diplomatic mission was meant to formalize what had been an accidental relationship until now. When the formal greetings ended, Kate was asked to show the Earth representatives to their temporary quarters within the palace. As they walked, Beth fell into step beside Kate. "Quite an impressive position you've carved out for yourself," Beth said quietly. "From what we heard, you were nearly executed when you arrived." Kate kept her expression neutral. "Prince Zorn saved my life. I've worked to repay that debt by helping build understanding between our peoples." Beth nodded. "Admirable. But you should know that Earth has greater plans for this relationship. Vraxian crystal technology could revolutionize our power systems back home." Something in Beth's tone made Kate uneasy. "The crystals are sacred to the Vraxians. They're living organisms, not just resources to be harvested." "Of course," Beth said smoothly, "but surely mutually beneficial trade can be arranged." That evening, Kate sought out Queen Vraxia to share her concerns. The Queen listened silently, her tall figure silhouetted against the large windows that showed the 3 moons rising. "I sensed similar intentions," the Queen said when Kate finished. "Their words spoke of friendship, but their eyes measured our worth." "Not all humans think that way," Kate said quickly. "The settlement has respected Vraxian ways. Because you had no choice," the Queen pointed out. "Your small numbers made cooperation necessary. Now that Earth knows of us, things may change." Kate couldn't deny the truth in those words. "What will you do, Your Majesty?" The Queen turned to face Kate fully. "Much depends on you, human liaison. You stand between our worlds now. Where does your loyalty lie?" It was a question Kate had asked herself many times over the past year. "I love Earth. It will always be my first home. But I've found a place here too. I believe both worlds can benefit from each other without exploitation." "Then prove it," the Queen said. "Join tomorrow's negotiations. Show these Earth diplomats that humans can respect our ways." The next day's meeting was tense. The Earth delegation presented proposals for mining rights to the crystal forests and establishing a permanent Earth base on Vraxian territory. In return, they offered technological exchanges and protection. When they finished, Kate asked to speak. The Queen nodded her permission. "As someone who has lived among both peoples," Kate began, "I believe these proposals fail to recognize what makes Vraxia unique. The crystals aren't just resources. They're the heart of Vraxian culture and biology. Any agreement must respect that," Beth frowned. "Ms. Kate, you're here as a translator, not a negotiator." "She speaks with my voice," Queen Vraxia interrupted. "The human liaison represents both our peoples. Her concerns are valid." The negotiations stretched over several days. Kate worked tirelessly, helping both sides understand each other. She explained to the Earth delegation why certain requests were offensive to Vraxians. She helped the Queen see which human proposals could be beneficial without threatening Vraxian sovereignty. Prince Zorn attended some sessions, watching Kate with pride in his eyes. "You are building a bridge," he told her during a break. "Just like you promised." Finally, a compromise was reached. Earth would receive limited access to fallen crystals, those naturally shed by the living crystal forests, but no mining rights. A small scientific outpost would be permitted, but no military presence. In exchange, Vraxia would receive medical and educational technology and formal recognition as a sovereign world. When the agreement was signed, Queen Vraxia surprised everyone by placing her royal mark not just on the official document, but on Kate's hand, a symbol of trust rarely granted to non-Vraxians. "You have proven yourself. Today," the Queen said so only Kate could hear. "Not as a human or as my son's teacher, but as a true bridge between worlds." That night, as the Earth delegation prepared to return to their ship with the signed treaty, Beth sought out Kate. "You could have secured better terms for Earth," she said, her tone accusing. Kate stood her ground. "I secured fair terms for both worlds. That was my job." Beth studied her for a long moment. "You've gone native, haven't you? You're more Vraxian than human now." No, Kate said firmly. I've just learned that being human doesn't mean putting our interests above all others. Real strength comes from finding common ground, not from domination. After the Earthship departed, promising to return with the approved treaty and supplies for the settlement, Kate found herself standing on a palace balcony, looking up at the stars. Somewhere out there was Earth, the blue planet she had once called home. Prince Zorn joined her, his skin glowing softly in the moonlight. Are you sad you didn't go with them? Kate smiled down at him. No. My place is here now. She touched the memory stone she still wore on a chain around her neck. Besides, I made a promise to a certain prince. Zorn's skin turned a deeper blue with happiness. You are the first human to truly understand us. Mother says you have the soul of a Vraxian, Kate laughed. I think I just have the soul of someone who believes different worlds can find harmony together.